in Philadelphia. That's all we know for certain. Micah Parsons' status remains a complete mystery. He was not in uniform for their final preseason game the other night. Received a lot of attention for this moment here that you see, sort of lying down on the training table while the team's offense was driving down the field. He was the only player not wearing a jersey during the game, so this thing just continues to take turns left and right. How good is he? He's about as good as you can be. Since entering the league in 21, he has 52.5 sacks, more than the combined total of the next three closest Cowboys, two of which are no longer Cowboys. By the way, that's the fifth most in league history, or excuse me, fifth most in the league since 2021, trailing only Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Trey Hendrickson, and Nick Bosa. So let's start with Adam Schefter, as always. Shefty, I mean, it's 10 days now. Where, if anywhere, are we?
Well, that's the whole question. We are getting close to the start of the regular season opener. He has not practiced this summer due to a back injury, back tightness. Now, the Cowboys took an MRI on it, said it came back clean. I think Micah Parsons would tell you that his back is tight, doesn't feel right. So he has not practiced. So in a best-case scenario, RC can't keep a straight face as I bring up back tightness.
Yeah, because you can't disprove back tightness. You can't tell me my back ain't tight.
The MRI said it's not tight.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. And that's going to be the issue. He hasn't practiced. He's got a tight back. The Cowboys' regular season opener is a week from Thursday night in Philadelphia. And the fact of the matter is, if he's out there at all, he'll be limited because he hasn't gone through practice at all. That's the short-term picture. There's obviously a lot to this. We'll get to all of it, but we're talking about the game Thursday night. Practice, no practice. So we'll see if he can make it out there next week. And I would say right now, that is very much in question.
So in case you missed all of the stuff from last week, Jerry Jones did an enormous media tour. They're promoting this very entertaining documentary, by the way, that is currently out there, completely separate from this story. It's outstanding, but that's neither here nor there. Jerry Jones, by now, you've seen everything, including the agent told me to stick it, you know where, and all the rest of that stuff that has been out there. Then Micah sort of responds, if you will, with this silent protest, whatever you want to call it. As a former general manager, big deal or not a big deal?
Yeah, I don't like how he handled things the other night laying on the training table. Let's give him a ton of credit, Greeny. Under the rules, he doesn't have to be in training camp. His fines can be waived because he's coming off of a rookie deal. So I give him a lot of credit for being around the team. By all accounts, he's a great teammate. But if 31 other teams are interested in you, you want to give off the impression that, hey, this is important to me. I'm supporting my teammates, and I'm doing everything I can to help them. And if I'm Brian Schottenheimer, who I know well, this is awful because wins and losses are a trailing indicator of the culture you're building. Knowing Brian, I'm sure he spoke to Micah one-on-one in terms of like, hey, this is not what we're trying to build here. If you want to be here, be here. If you don't, I'll respect that as well. So I think Jerry Jones has handled things awful, and I think Micah Parsons has really taken the high road. I just don't think that's a good look.
He doesn't want to be there, Mike. He's made that very clear. Micah wants to move on. So go ahead, RC.
I mean, Brian Schottenheimer doesn't set the culture in Dallas. No head coach since maybe Jimmy Johnson has set the culture in Dallas. Right. Jerry Jones sets the culture. And in football, I think it's the greatest gap between ownership and labor. And in Dallas, it's the greatest gap between any ownership and the rest of the owners or the players on that team. And Jerry Jones is continuing to show us that when he sits down with Stephen A and he says, you know who has to be comfortable? I have to be comfortable. The thing that happens is this has become so personal because you're not only, when you negotiate with the general manager, you can separate that from the ownership. You can separate that from the coaches. You can't do that with Jerry Jones, who speaks to the media every single day. And so now we're expecting Micah Parsons to live and to work with a level of decorum and a level of respect and a level of professionalism that not even the owner and general manager of the team has shown us throughout this entire process. And so now it's, what do the other 31 teams see? You know what they see? They see a player on a Hall of Fame trajectory. They see one of the best players in all of football, one of the best players at his position. I don't think they're looking at that in any way to say that Micah Parsons isn't conducting himself in a way that we wouldn't want him on the team. What this is, though, this is bad for Dallas, this is ugly for Dallas, and this is an indication of a team, to me, that will not be competing for a playoff spot, and it starts with their owner, Jerry Jones.
A month ago, I said this was the biggest problem Jerry Jones has had since the 90s. Yep. He has not dealt with this. The Cowboys, honestly, are becoming a joke. I mean, it's Monday morning, 10 days before the season starts. We're talking about their best player laying down on a table, and is it a big deal or not? And when I first started in this business, it was like we were talking about the Cowboys and the best offensive line in the history of football, and Zeke Elliott running for 50. Now we're talking about Micah Parsons laying down on a table 10 days before playing on the road against their division rival. If it's as bad as we hear it is publicly, why haven't the Ravens or the Bills made the call?
Well, I can tell you that there are teams that are all watching and observing, and they would love to trade for Micah Parsons. I don't think that any team out there believes that it's real and serious that Dallas will look to deal him. So are there 31 other interested teams in Micah Parsons? Yes. Do any of them think that Dallas is going to trade him before the season begins? I don't think they think that.
Well, Shefty, then it becomes, for Jerry Jones, is the player and the player's production worth more than the dislike of the player or his actions?
So I think a great way to move this forward, guys, if I was Jerry Jones, I'd get a room and say, let's do a 2-year Band-Aid. Let's go $84 million, fully guaranteed 2 years. So average per year, you're now above T.J. Watt.
0% chance Micah would do that.
No, listen, it's not good for the team because I'm giving a lot of guaranteed money, only getting 2 years. It's not ideal for Micah Parsons, but it's $84 million guaranteed instead of playing for $24 million and then being franchised. So Chris Jones had a Band-Aid a couple of years ago. Saquon Barkley did. And the deals where both sides look at and are kind of like icky, that's really the
Well, I think the part is, like, those things can become icky, and we can work on business if we do business in the way that business is supposed to be done. That's not what Jerry Jones has done with Michael Parsons. And now if you look at someone like a Dak Prescott, who was part of A1 with Todd Franz as his agent, you dealt with Todd. If you think about Tory Dandy, who is CeeDee Lamb's agent, you dealt with him. So now all of a sudden with Michael Parsons' agent, you won't deal with this agent. You're saying that his agent is not needed. We don't need 3 people in the room, where historically and professionally 3 people are in the room.
Right.
And most times the player's not in the room during those negotiations.
Only 2 people are in the room.
Because you want to keep that separate.
Right.
And so we can talk about all of the different negotiations that the Dallas Cowboys have had. This one is different.
Absolutely.
And there are teams that are interested, but like Adam has said, they don't believe there's a true chance of getting Michael Parsons because we've seen DeMarcus Lawrence play on a franchise tag. We've also seen Dak Prescott play on a franchise tag.
And you're saying that the 2 individuals should get in a room and make a deal happen. Here's the problem with that. Micah has publicly stated that he no longer wants to play there. The Dallas Cowboys have not had any contract discussions with him, not made him a single offer in 3-4 months. So they've given no indication that they want to sign him long-term recently. He has said he wants to be traded. So both sides haven't even discussed a deal.
They also don't like each other.
Yeah.
They don't like each other. That's obvious. We can talk money all we want. They don't like each other.
But let me take you behind the curtains. I've been in plenty of situations. Just go with me. Like, maybe some people didn't like me a lot. Just go with me for a second.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, but were those people going to be the number 1 paid person at their position?
No, but I'm talking about the agents. And what I'm saying is, like, Jerry Jones has to say, hey, look, if I'm comporting myself as a leader of this franchise, I have a great young player who's on a Hall of Fame trajectory. I got to get in the room with his agent. We don't have to like each other.
Yeah.
Bye.